Okay, I'm going to try and do this with several screens. So we want this one first. Okay, right, so today, Monday the 25th of January, we're looking at can I explore the impact of the Romans on Britain? So a new topic this week, and we'll get onto that in just a second. So the first thing I want to look at is this. So we've got here a simple sentence: the ladybird was hiding under the bark. Okay, so what we've got here is a prepositional phrase. So under the bark is a prepositional phrase, and the preposition is under. So a preposition just tells you where something is in relation to something else. So this one tells you where the ladybird is in relation to the bark, where the ladybird is under the bark. And a prepositional phrase is that whole section to do with the preposition. Because obviously you can't just say the ladybird was hiding under. You have to sort of say under what. So the prepositional phrase is under the bark. To give you another example, we've got several sheep were eating grass in the field. So you can see that the prepositional phrase about where the sheep are is going to be in the field. That's your prepositional phrase. And the preposition, which is always at the beginning of the prepositional phrase, the preposition is in. Okay, so just to recap, a preposition tells you where something is in relation to something else. And the prepositional phrase is that whole little bit of that sentence, like in the field. So some prepositions that, you know, there's lots of them, but this is just some of them. So prepositions tell you where something is, such as under, on, next to, between, in front of, above, inside, nearby. There are also three prepositions which tell you where something is in time. So before, after, and during. So they can be prepositions as well. So what I want you to do is just pause the video. I'll just move me around. Pause the video and just, I want you to underline the preposition in each sentence and maybe put a circle around the prepositional phrase. So I'll give you a few seconds to pause the video there. Okay, so just to check your answers then, the prepositional phrase is on the table, in the cupboard, and under the waves. And the preposition in each sentence is on, and then in, and then under. So we're going to look at that this week, prepositions and prepositional phrases. Okay, so the reason I've got this with a lot of different screens on is the first thing is we've got a video. So this week we're going to write an information text or a non-chronological report on what the Romans did for Britain. So firstly, we're going to have a quick look at a video. So I think I have to do it like this. If I stop sharing and share again, and we go to the video here and share, now hopefully this should work. So I'm just going to play you the video here.
What did the Romans do for us? When the Romans... The Romans made using coins to buy things.
Okay, so go back to PowerPoint. Okay, so that was just a little overview of just what we'll be looking at this week. So there is a bit more on there. We're going to look at taking some notes today based on different things that the Romans did for us. And you saw some of those in that that video. So these words are going to be useful to know for your research. So if you could just write them in your book, just miss a line in between each and leave a space for writing the definition. But see if you know the meaning of them already. So fill them in now, pause the video in a second and fill them in if you know the meaning of them already. If not, once you've read the text, you should be able to fill this in at the end and work out what the meanings of them are. So the words are foundations, native, pagan, Latin, forum, castrum, and Londinium. So if you know, so pause the video now. If you know the meanings of any of those, you just drop them in. If not, don't worry about it. It will come up in the things we're going to be reading. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the first section of the text, Roman roads, and we're going to look at making notes on this section. So I'm going to read it through, and then you're going to have a go at taking some notes, and then we'll see how well our notes kind of are the same. So when we're taking notes, all we're looking for is bullet points. It doesn't have to be your neatest handwriting because sometimes you're doing it quite quickly as long as you can read it. Just looking for quick bullet points. You can also use abbreviations. So rather than writing and, you can just put a plus. It doesn't have to be full sentences as long as it makes sense to you. You know, you don't have to write Romans every time. You can just write cap R's or something that you know is Romans, just as long as you know. So something that's quite quick to get down the main key details of it. So let's have a look at this first section, which is here. So if we go down, so this is Roman roads. So we're just going to read it through. So we've got, Britain had no proper roads before the Romans. They were just muddy tracks. So the Romans built new roads all across the landscape, over 16,000 kilometers or 10,000 miles, in fact. The Romans knew that the shortest distance from one place to another is a straight line. So they made all their roads as straight as possible to get around quickly. They built their roads on foundations of clay, chalk, and gravel. They laid bigger flat stones on top. Roman roads bulged in the middle and had ditches either side to help the rainwater drain off. Some Roman roads have been converted into motorways and main roads we use today. You can still find a few places where the original Roman road is still visible too. And there's an example there, just in the top right. Bits of Roman road can still be seen. Soldiers and carts use this cobbled road to travel between Manchester and Yorkshire. So you can pause there if you want to take some more notes. So I'd pause it here and just see what notes you can take about that section. Okay, and we'll go back to here. So let's look over some of the things which I'm aware my tapping my mouse on the video is really loud for you. I think it must be reading the microphone where the mouse is. So here are my notes. So Roman roads. So these are the key things I've got. So I've done it in bullet points. I've got a heading. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've just said no roads before Romans, just tracks. Again, not full sentences, but I've summed up the main point. I haven't said Romans, I've just put R's, just a bit quick, I know what I mean. And built 10,000 miles of them. I didn't think it necessary to put 16,000 kilometers as well. I just put one. All roads are really straight. Foundations, that's a definition, isn't it? That's one of our words. It's what you put beneath something you build to help it stay strong. And their foundations with clay, chalk, gravel. Put some big stones on top. Ditches are either side, so they drained, and then some still visible, some made into motorway. So I've just put the key points. So that's gonna remind me when I come to write about it, all of those key points I want to include. So your task for the rest of today is to make some notes about the other sections. So there's 3 other sections on that website. One's about religion, one's about language, and one's about towns. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to that website, and I'm going to show you those bits on the screen. So as I go to each one, if you just pause it and then take notes, move on to the next one and the next one. At the end, after that, those 3 sections, I'll come back here and I'll show you the definitions of those words if you haven't got them already. So we'll go back to the website, which is here. So we've got Roman roads, and then you can have a look at how did the Romans change religion. So you can pause that one there. And if you've done that one, we can come back. The next one is language, writing and numbers. And the final one, let's have a look at that. How did Romans change towns? Okay, so hopefully you got all those notes on that. So just take you back for the last bit, just to the PowerPoint, and then these are the words here. So the foundations we've said are what you put beneath something you build to help us stay strong. If you just make sure these are in your books. A native, this person who was born in a certain country. Often their families have lived there for many, many years. So the native Britons will have lived in Britain for a very long, long time, aside from the Romans who had just come over. A pagan is someone who worships many gods and spirits, particularly someone who doesn't worship the kind of agreed religion or the main religion of the country. A Latin was a language spoken by the Romans. A forum was a big market square. Castrum means fort in Latin, but it's found in modern place names like Chester, Cester, and Castor, like Doncaster, Manchester, Cirencester. They were all Roman towns or cities. And then Londinium was a Roman name for London. Cool. So we'll carry on with that. We'll carry on with that tomorrow.